and welcome to the Mortal Kombat Journey of Conquest HFP Telecast podcast thing that we do. Episode 5, not 6, which I was about to say. Episode 5, because even though we're going to be reviewing episode 6 of Mortal Kombat Conquest this week, we're going through the entire Mortal Kombat Conquest. It's an interesting journey. It's a 5 because we had a double bill in the first episode.
Why didn't you ask for help? I could have helped with that intro. You're all rambling and stuff. You could have asked for help. You could have screamed out. Why didn't you ask?
Because I'd never be a strong warrior if I didn't. Reference to what's coming up.
There we go.
Interesting. So this episode, right? How do we do this? It's been a while.
Last week or month or so.
Why did we take a break?
We were working on another series of short films.
Yeah.
That will be out sometime in 2017 plus.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
If ever.
Yeah.
We've had a few projects on, and we've got one big project that we're doing, and we just needed to devote some time to the pre-work on that, so we just didn't have time. So apologies. Like, I don't know if you do a free podcast, do you owe the listeners anything? But I want to apologise
I apologise to the one or two guys that listen through the whole thing. I think we should definitely apologise to get those guys.
Yeah.
There's another 5 of you that listen to some of it. We apologise to them as well. Everyone else that doesn't listen to, who cares?
We're committed to this, which I think we have 4 on our last episode, maybe, listeners. But obviously, if we don't get it out in the week, we do apologise. We're going to do them as and when. And spoiler, we're probably, after we've done Mortal Kombat Conquest, also going to do Friday the 3rd. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street was
because we had a massive conversation about them all and couldn't figure out which one was which, and Freddy Krueger and all that stuff. But that's for another time. Mortal Kombat Conquest. So this episode, what was its title?
It was Noob Saibot.
Did that ring anything? Did that mean anything to you when you saw it?
I knew... I couldn't remember if there was multiple Saibots.
Right.
I was like, I think this is the main one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a black guy that, is... Right. Yeah, a black ninja guy that's going to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all I knew.
I played the first 3 Mortal Kombat games, and then I retrospectively gone back and looked at the others, Deception and Deadly Alliance and stuff.
The first 2 on Game Boy. I don't know if they were the first 2 or if they were just the first 2 on Game Boy.
Okay, you wouldn't have got, because Nintendo had this no blood thing going on. I played them on the hardcore Mega Drive, which is how Mortal Kombat was supposed to be experienced, and with its blast processing power. And Noob Saibot was a secret character
in number 2.
There was Noob Saibot, and there was Jade, and there was possibly a third that I never got to. But Noob Saibot, you could, I think, if you double flawless, I think you'd end up getting a fight with Noob Saibot. Might be Reptile in one that I'm thinking of. I can't remember all the how you go. Anyway, he's called Noob Saibot. I remember this because that's Tobias Boone, because I think it's John Tobias and Ed Boon are the creators of Mortal Kombat, and they literally just put him in secret character and his name is just them backwards, and I think it's Ed Boon. I don't know if you ever had Mortal Kombat 2. You do something and a face would come up in the corner and go, Toasty! That was Ed Boon, and that's what he was named for. So that was a big thing. And then they retconned his story, so he's the original Sub-Zero who was killed by Scorpion, and the Sub-Zero that you find is actually the brother of the original, and I think he comes back as Smoke. I'm not sure on the whole principles of it, because they've done so much with the time. But that was a big name. So I was expecting, okay, this is one of the most significant Mortal Kombat characters. Not most in terms of the big, but this is an iconic, you hear the name Noob Saibot, you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you get this dude. And I'm not sure that the episode quite did what it sort of suggested it might by naming itself after one of the more familiar characters to Mortal Kombat fans. And let's face it, Mortal Kombat Conquest, if you're not a Mortal Kombat fan, well, there's tits and some fighting, but there isn't that much to keep you watching. This is made for the fans a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's made for at times. At times I watch it and I just go, what is the target for this right now? But anyway, this episode.
Fans.
Yeah. Came on after wrestling.
Yeah.
So, this episode, what did you think? Just general, we don't go into the detailed reflection till after we've gone through it.
It actually went quite fast for me as an
Did it?
episode. I had another issue with the streaming.
I'm going to cut it for a second. You're going to hear me using my e-cig. I'm using my e-cig today.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'll probably use mine at some point.
You will, because I've used mine, and that means it's okay for you to.
Yeah.
Because if you used it first, I'd be a little dick and be like, "What are you doing, man? You're ruining the recording." But when I want to use it, it's fine.
Yeah.
That is the unequal power relationship.
The gameplay rules. Back from gameplay videos.
Wait for Sam.
We need to take a break to use e-cig. I want an e-cig, I'm still playing. Fuck it. We're allowed to use e-cig now.
Some of those games were stressful, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
It went a lot faster. I had a few streaming issues where not a single one of the parts played the next part afterwards, and I had to go back to the playlist to continue it. But other than that, I felt that for the most part, the fighting was more followable in this episode than it has been in the last few.
Interesting.
Particularly the first fight.
Yeah.
Which was easily the most followable fight so far.
Alright, right, you're going to hear rustling of paper because I make notes. Tom doesn't make notes,
No.
he just riffs on this. This is my third note. Generally speaking, most followable fight so far, but long.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, should we go into the episode then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to put this out there now because if you're listening for the great Shang Tsung moments, no Shang Tsung in this.
No
Emperor
single
in
one.
This. And that's
A little bit of Raiden. Raiden has a great line, which I assume you have in your notes.
I don't know.
If you don't, I'll bring it in. It's fine.
Excellent. Right. So we start and we're in a crowded town, and I actually thought there's a lot of extras here. There's a lot of things going on in the background, and the way they filmed it at a slightly high angle, which if you're not a filmmaker means that your camera is slightly high looking down. Yeah. And there was so it cut off some bodies, but they're all milling about, and their costumes looked right, and I actually thought this is quite a nice little.
None of the people looked confused that I noticed.
No.
The extras seemed to know what they were meant to be doing in those scenes.
Yeah, I thought it was nice. It's one of the better intro shots, less locations that they've done, and it felt big. Yeah. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was a small soundstage, but it felt big because of the way they filmed it. So, and the lighting and everything, well played. And Ciro, Kung Lao, and Taja.
Is Taja there? I think she's not about.
Right. Okay.
I think she's just at the training post.
Kung Lao and Ciro are going through. It's like a stalls.
Yeah, looking at markets.
The comparison I would make is it's like the beginning of Aladdin. It's like the stalls, and they meet a guy who had a slight hunched shoulder. It was like a put on hunch, but he didn't move, so you didn't get to see if you're hopping or anything. And Ciro's sort of like shopping, and Kung Lao, he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna look. You go over there," and then a thief comes and takes an item. But Ciro stops him with lightning.
Oh, my hand slipped!
Yeah. And Ciro says, "I'm going to break your hand if you..." And the thief walks off. Thief has no mask. That's important. Thief's just a generic young-looking guy. Thief leaves. The store guy tries to sell Ciro a knife. Yeah. Which Ciro is sort of slightly hesitant to buy, which I thought was dumb. I'm like, why the fuck wouldn't you carry a knife? Why didn't you just snap up the knife or already have a knife?
Yeah, well, he seemed like he was happy to buy the knife. Just not the first knife that he was shown.
Yeah.
So I want this knife. I want this knife that looks exactly the fucking same with a different case.
Yeah.
But hey.
Yeah. So then Ciro turns around and the thief is back. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, I suppose you want your hand breaking after all." And the thief like, "Oh, maybe I'll break your head." And then...
That line... Yeah. It's not, "Oh, maybe it's more likely to be your head." Which made no sense. I feel like that line was meant to be your hand, but they did it without Ciro there and did it as a separate running, just a rush. Yeah. And he said it wrong, and they just fucking kept it. Yeah. It didn't make sense. It's like, I guess you wanted to break your hand. More likely to be your head, or more likely to be your head. But how it was said, it was meant to be like a repeat line. It wasn't.
It didn't fit, did it? And also, what got me, the thief is still the thief guy. Yeah. But he then has his backup. Yeah. And all the backup are wearing black balaclavas. None of them are visible. And I swear one of them looked a bit like he might be maybe the guy who plays Shang Tsung was getting a payday because it looked like Shang Tsung, but it wasn't. So maybe that was just me wishing for I want my Shang Tsung moments. And they have a fight, which is where the note came in, generally speaking, the most followable fight. It was a lot of punches and kicks, but it was long.
Yeah.
And I checked, it's actually only 3 minutes, which is maybe just under a tenth of the episode runtime if you take out intro and outro. But it felt so much longer to me because it was just kick, punch, return, kick, punch, return. And so it was like winning, but then he's not, but then he's winning, but then he's not. And then, if you've got more to say, I'll come back to the fight. They sort of did this thing where like Ciro's being held and he sort of gets kicked in the stomach, but he ends up flying in the air and backflipping into a stall.
Yeah.
Which was like, it was very much like, okay, this has felt like a fight, and now we're doing like the wushu walking on water style stuff.
Yeah.
It jarred for me.
We have another moment like that later.
We do as well, yeah. Right, and then we get a credit cut. The thief charges at Ciro as if he's going to kill him, but we just get a and then we get our credits. Time long ago, Mortal Kombat, da 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 da. As far as intros go, not the worst I've seen, but tedious.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't build anything for the future of the episode. It wasn't a dramatic cut where you felt like Ciro's going to die, and lo and behold, the credits end and Kung Lao straight in there, kick, boom. No.
And then the thieves are all like, we'll get him. And then the main guy is like, oh no, I know this guy. It's Kung Lao. Run!
Yeah.
And Ciro does not like that.
No, Ciro, like, Kung Lao's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? And Ciro, he was sort of out of breath, he played it quite well.
Yeah.
He's sort of like, I thought I could handle them.
Yeah.
And I just, it's like, why wouldn't you call for, why do you need to, what? Right, there's this thing about heroes being idiots, like it happens in wrestling about dumb baby faces. Like you trust the guy and they turn on you and whatever. Why, if 4 guys are attacking you, if you're a good guy, do you feel the need? Like, bad guys will always go, right, we're facing one guy, let's get 10.
Yeah.
Let's just swarm him and fuck a fair fight, we just want to fight. But when it's the other way around, good guys have this weird honour thing. It's like, there are 4 of them, call Kung Lao. The 2 of you take them together, you're still taking half of them. That's 2. Like, it just annoys me, that kind of thing. And that gets us dissension.
Yeah.
But then Ciro's like, oh, you saved him, da-da-da. And Kung Lao tries to make him feel better by saying, yeah, but you practically killed 3 of them. How do you practically kill someone? They ran away pretty quick, all 3 of them. They weren't that close to death.
See, for me, practically killing 3 of them would have to result in them, 3 of them are now in comas, probably not going to wake up.
Yes.
That would be practically killing someone.
They're brain damaged and they'll never
Them still being able
again.
to attack you and kick your ass, not really practically killing.
No.
It's like, you got a shot in, mate.
Exactly. Right, so then they return to what are we going to call this? The homeland base. The house.
Well, they didn't straight away.
Did they not straight away?
No. Kung Lao and Ciro have this talk, and then Ciro's like, I'm fine. In the way
he's not fine. The passive aggressive.
About 10 times. And then eventually it's just like, you go ahead, I didn't look at the knife. And he goes to look at the knife. Still doesn't fucking buy the knife. Mm-hmm. And instead, some random hot chick turns up. Have you missed the hot chick? Or have you rearranged it?
I might have rearranged it because I remember I've got Taja wound Ciro up. And Ciro said, he says to Kung Lao, I don't need your help. Which is a clear lie because he just nearly got killed by 4 guys.
Yeah, that's afterwards.
Is that afterwards?
Yeah.
Because then they meet a scantily clad witch. Oh, they do. They meet her helper. You're right. Yes.
Ciro meets her helper. Some random hot chick that's like,
yeah.
I know a person that could help you.
Yeah.
It's like, who's that? Oh, it's a fucking psychic. How's the psychic going out? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Which is basically Ciro's reaction.
Yeah. And then she's like, you'll see if you come, da-da-da, and leaves. Yes, I remember this. Then they go back to home base.
Yeah.
Can we name something for home base going forward?
It's the trading post.
The trading post. They go back to the trading post. And then the trading post is where Taja winds Ciro up a bit, like, you got 4. And Ciro's getting more and more like, leave me alone. And Taja's like, what's wrong with you? He's like, nothing. Yeah. And gets all stormy. And then he goes to leave. And she's like, where are you going? Find someone who can help. And she's like, who do you know that can help? We'll see, won't we?
Yeah. Before that, though, right?
Yeah.
First, he talks to Kung Lao again.
Yeah.
And he does the whole, blah, blah, crap. And I can't remember what it is Kung Lao. Kung Lao basically accuses him of not training hard enough. and then it's talking about, do you have to train to do some shit? And then Sarah pisses him off by saying you didn't train hard enough to save Jen, is what he's actually saying, and that's the insult. But I swear down, what he actually said was Chen. And for the whole episode, I was wondering, who the fuck is Chen? This feels like it's meant to be important. I'm like, who is Chen?
Chen might be Ciro's younger brother from episode 4.5.
So then, later, I was looking at, I went on afterwards, I was like, I need to find out who the fuck Chen is. Yeah. I was looking at, actors, and I eventually looked through, the whole cast list, and then saw Jen, and I just went, that's who he's fucking on about. Right. There we go. I was like, there is no Chen. Who the fuck is Chen?
So Ciro storms off, and the scantily clad woman that they met must have told him, because he goes to this fortune teller with Taja. Taja goes with him. Yeah. And this fortune teller is an even more scantily clad woman, and they sort of... She sat, it's like a tarot reading person at a table, putting cards out, and the assistant that they met earlier is like, she calls her over and she's on her shoulder, and they sit down, it's like a fortune teller, and Taja's like, this is all crap. It's like, you don't have to believe, but you can believe, Ciro, da-da-da. And she's like, I'll demonstrate to you my power. And her demonstration was cutting his wrist with her fingernail, causing a long line of one of those, it's like a long paper cut effectively, and then saying, oh, your blood runs this way, you're a warrior, but you have doubts, which the assistant could have told her straight away. There was
this was a cold read. This was a classic, very simple cold read.
You make something float in the air or something. The teller, I forgot her name. Oh, I want to say Kira?
It's Kiri.
Kiri, right. I don't know if this was a good acting performance or a good direction, but she delivered her lines, big smile on her face, very calm, very collected, very slow, while they did this sort of tilt with the camera, so the camera moved left and right. I genuinely found her creepy in the right way. She genuinely... I don't know, because I feel a lot of the casting in this series seems to be, you look good, so your grasp of the English language isn't as important as being appeal. And even Ciro, whose acting is improving.
His acting's getting better.
Yeah, I find the main characters are all getting better, except Kung Lao, who seems to be staying the same. But he wasn't bad to begin with. Yeah. He was the strongest of the three to begin with, so he can stay the same and still be consistent. I'm finding, with this performance, as opposed to... Do you remember the Essence episode? Not the Essence, the one before. No. The lady who's old but not.
That's the Essence episode.
Was that the Essence? No, because the Essence was Katana. It's the week before. Taja and Ciro got turned old, and then Shang Tsung's plan, and it was all to make Kung Lao fight once, but then the rules are back. In that episode, the old lady there, who was young, was a really bad actress. But this one, I thought it was she might have got the job because she's porn star-rific with looks, but actually, this is a really good performance. I was genuinely impressed. The beginning, there's some elements of it that are going well here. But she basically says, you can get your power increased if you defeat these warriors in this
Kick 2 guys' asses in this dungeon thing, and you'll absorb their power.
Yeah. And then they leave, and Taja's like, oh, you don't really believe that, do you? Da-da-da. And Ciro's response is, I know she's weird, but... And then Taja jumps in, oh my god, you cannot be serious. And they are serious. And then we get a little Raiden moment. I love this moment. Raiden appears, and Kung Lao is super salty. I love you being able to use the word salty. Super butthurt that Ciro is annoyed with him and that they're arguing and shit. And Raiden's just maybe Ciro wants to be strong, and Kung Lao's just well, he doesn't need me. And Raiden's just well, part of being a strong warrior is forgiveness. Da da da.
Yeah. Right, my favourite line from that, right near the beginning, Kung Lao's telling him what happened. And Raiden just goes, I can't remember, Kung Lao sort of leaves it a little, vague, and Raiden just goes, did they kill him? And he just goes, and Kung Lao's no. He's that's a shame. Stories are always better when someone dies at the end.
Which might be foreshadowing. What I like about Raiden is they've got his position down perfectly, in that he's sort of the father figure to these squabblesome children, but he's also a bit like Willy Wonka, in that he's socially awkward and doesn't really care. He's in his own world, so yeah, that's funny. Yeah, whatever kind of thing. I really like that mix. He's just a well-played character, and the actor that played Raiden. I love my Raiden.
Although I'm annoyed that Raiden's not pissed off with them, because the entire so far this season, every time it's sort of said what their aims are meant to be, it's to get and train warriors for Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
They haven't done any of that. They haven't found a single fucking person.
Well, no, they haven't. But at the same time, I think Raiden only really cares about Kung Lao. There can only be one winner, right? Yeah. And Kung Lao, whenever Kung Lao gets in trouble, Raiden's just like, you're an idiot, I'm pissed after that. But when it's anyone else, and also Raiden might be a bit well, they took the essence, which was the one not last episode. I want to say last week, but it wasn't. It was a month ago we reviewed that. But I like Raiden's character. Well, there's slight movements in this series where I'm getting things feel like they are characters haven't moved slightly. So then we go back to Zero, and he goes to find the warriors, and they go to this entrance, and it's like a rock tunnel-y thing. It looks like they just used the set that you normally use for Shang Tsung and altered it slightly. And Zero pushes a rock door, and it sort of opens. And then Taja's like, no, we don't need to do this, da-da-da.
It's a metal door.
Yeah, so it's a metal door in rock.
It's in a big rock, and it's rusted shut. And before he opens it, Taja's like, it's rusted shut. Because no one goes here. I mean, you shouldn't go here. Yeah. And then Ciro's like, whatever, goes through the door. Yeah. And then Taja says, hey, come back. And you hear Ciro shout from off screen, no! And just walk out. I was like, yeah. And then Taja says, if you don't die down there, I'll kill you. Yeah. And goes after him. Oh, man. I see, at this point, I thought this episode is us getting to know more of Taja and Ciro. And they are, the slightly more neglected characters. They've been much more the damsel in distress that Kung Lao saved. Yeah. So at this point, I'm sort of okay, this episode is this. Let's see where they go with it. And do you want to talk about where they go with it in terms of statues and stuff? Well, they go down into a basement thing, a weird altar with some glowing red smoke, because that's what you get in dungeons. I've
missed one brief moment. The fortune teller has a nothing scene. She literally sits there with her little assistant, and her little assistant's like, she's gone with him. Yeah. They, and the fortune teller's just like, it's the two of them. Well, you don't like her, do you? And she's like, no, I want to talk about Taja. Yeah. Fortune teller's assistant's like, I want her to die. Fortune teller's, maybe she will. And that's it. There's nothing to that scene. That's just filling time. Yeah.
So they go down. There's some stupid rock statues. They're very clearly going to be the warriors.
First it's dark. Cyril lights a torch. He was already holding a torch, but apparently the next torch he lights acts like a light in the room. Yeah. And Taja jumps, but then it's just a stone statue that looks exactly like every generic warrior we've had in the show so far. And then another statue with an eagle thing.
There's some weird eagle in the middle that's never explained. No. And I don't think it's important at all.
But they treated it like it's important. They had Sarah look at it and everything, but it doesn't seem to mean anything.
So Taja's basically I'm fucking bored of this shit. I'm going to go wait outside. Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to go back up. And then Sarah's it's dark. Or something. I think it says it's dark. You'll get lost. Wait outside. Yeah. So she waits just outside the door. Yeah. Sarah walks up to this stupid eagle thing that's unimportant completely, and
treated like it's going to be important, but in retrospect, not important at all.
And then the two fucking statues come to life. Yeah. In the very bad, weird CGI.
They come to life in that flame effect thing that they do, and now they're human looking. Yeah. And they fight Zero, and Zero gets his ass kicked.
Yeah, kick his ass.
This fight was slightly less followable than the first. Yeah. Because at one point I thought there were 3 statues. Yeah. They had... It was sort of Zero center screen. Sort of... If you think he's got his back to the screen, so his left is our left, if we're watching. There's a warrior to his left, and a warrior that comes from, his close left, and gets kicked back close left, and then a warrior that comes from close right. Yeah. As well as the other one in the back left. So I was honestly that one went that way, there's a third one. Oh, there might be loads of them. But then they flipped back and there was just 2. Yeah. So that I don't think that's good. When I think there's more enemies than there are, that's not a good fight scene.
Also, there seems to be a thing of the front flips to show how good a warrior people are.
Yeah.
Those two statues, they come alive. They do like really low, crappy front flips.
Yeah.
Zero then does a massive front flip over them. And when you have Kung Lao, whenever he does his front flip, he does a front flip into a diving roll.
Yes.
Which, obviously, that's way better. And that's how everyone starts fights, because, you know, why wouldn't you start a fight by wasting a ton of energy, making yourself off balance, and generally making no advancement to your opponent at all? Why wouldn't you do that?
There you go. Don't just pop him in the mouth. Try and flip over.
So they fight for a bit. It is at times followable, and other times just loads of random close-up rushes that makes no sense.
This will sound weird because it's Mortal Kombat, but in this episode, less so in others, but in this episode, I found the fighting boring and the character moments more interesting. And I wish they'd reduced this fight. The beginning fight was way too long, it's 3 minutes. This one, I timed it was only a minute and a bit, but it could have been 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because the ending is, So's getting his ass kicked. His clothes are getting messy at the same time. That's important. They're getting like this black dirt on them.
Yeah.
And then Tajira...
Because he mentions oil before. That's what they keep calling it.
Oil. Tajira appears.
Yeah.
With a big stabby stick.
Yeah, she just picks up some stick from somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like stabs both of the guys.
Stabs one in the stomach, he gets a hole in his stomach, other one, hole in his stomach. Yeah. And then they die.
Yeah.
Like, I thought, okay, they got a hole in their stomach, they're still moving around, magic, stone statues, that's cool. But then they just died.
Yeah.
And they died in like a...
Yeah, some weird fucking rock breaking animation thing that I'm not entirely sure why. They did like a weird dust thing for the stab, and then they had them turn to rocks and they explode. Why not?
Yeah. Why the fuck not? So, that turns to... right, this got me, because they straight cut from like, Taja kills them.
Yeah.
And she helps Zero up, and Zero's a bit beaten. And they cut to them outside a door. And they said, oh, it's locked. I thought this door was the door to, like, the stone place that they were in with the warriors. But then Zero, like, leaned in and seemed to open it with a key. And they were at the trading post. And they just, like, I don't know if there was an advert break there that I missed, and that's why that jarred. But it just felt like, oh, we've teleported. Like, they're using the fast travel like Littlefinger in Game of Thrones uses. Or Varys, who can travel across seas in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
So they go in, and then Zero's like, could you do me a favour? Can we not tell Kung Lao about this?
Yeah.
And then Taja's like, I won't tell Kung Lao about this on one condition. Zero's like, what? Zero at the minute is shirtless.
Yeah.
She's like, as long as you get rid of your clothes, they're...
Yeah.
I've got the coat. They reek.
Yeah.
And she even does the, like, you know, the wafting your hand up and down across your nose, like pantomime reek. And he just grins and smiles and says, I'll do it in the morning. Yeah. Because apparently getting rid of clothes...
I'll burn them in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, there was one problem I have with that line.
Yes.
Right. And it was that there was a unfortunately long pause between her saying get rid of the clothes and they reek. So what happens is she looks at Zero and she goes, we won't tell him as long as you get rid of the clothes.
Yeah.
They reek. But it's like the looking at it, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah. Are they doing it? Is this her getting it to do it? Yeah. Then they go to bed. They wake up in the morning.
Not together, in theory.
No. Well, they head off but separate beds, in theory. Because he hasn't got rid of his reeky clothes. And the clothes, right? I will describe this as a T1000. I wrote down, effectively, the T1000 comes out of his clothes. A liquid weird thing.
The oil shit that now becomes see-through instead of black for some weird reason.
That then flies off.
Yeah.
Back out the house. And is that... Do we then get the morning? Oh no!
No,
it goes to the fortune teller, doesn't it? And then we get Noob Saibot. How would you describe Noob Saibot?
He's like a really generic black ninja that's covered in oil.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Noob Saibot, have you ever, dear listener, if you've ever seen Pulp Fiction, go watch the Gimp scene. He looks like the fucking Gimp from Pulp Fiction, but with blackface. That is literally what he looks like, and it's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Like, I cringed at the look of him. And then the only thing that when I saw him, I was like, oh, don't give him a stupid voice. And his voice is I am Noob Saibot. Yeah. And then he's telling the fortune teller, and she reveals to him, I'm working for the Emperor. I sent the warriors, you sent the warriors. Yeah, I'm working for the Emperor. You're working for him even though he imprisoned me. And she's like, yeah, because we can help him and then he'll be fine with us. And she's like, okay, so this wasn't a Taja Zero story episode where I get to know more of them and see them. This was an origin story for a Gimp.
Yeah.
That's, at this point, the whole... I'm confused about the purpose of this episode. At this point, like, it's a different purpose entirely. And then we go to, it's like the morning after. Cyril wakes up. You don't actually get him wake up. He just walks out of his room and talks to Taja. And he's holding the knife that he was looking at the beginning. And he's like, oh, it was left on my pillow. Kung Lao must have got it me. And he's like, is he around? I wanted to apologise to him. And Taja's like, he's in the garden. He's been training since morning. So Cyril goes out to find Kung Lao. And Cyril's like on a balcony looking down. Kung Lao is stood with his back completely still, drinking water, but in the classic head raised, holding a flagon of water up. Like, I don't know what his training was. No sweat, no tiredness, no training materials, sticks, bodies, anything that he could be hitting. He just seems to have stood there drinking water, and that's his training. And then Cyril's like, cheers for the knife kind of thing, and Kung Lao's all like smiley at him, like, oh, you're welcome. And then, whoa!
Yeah.
Noob Saibot appears.
Yeah.
Just bursts out. Yeah.
On a roof for no reason.
His reason is to tell him, I'm Noob Saibot, I'm going to kill you. You will die, Kung Lao.
Yeah, and then fucks up.
It's just like the answer. I didn't get it. I was like, okay, well, maybe we'll go into a fight here, maybe not, but we didn't even get that. And at this point I realised we were about 3/4 through the episode, and so far it seemed like an origin story, but really I don't know what this episode was.
No.
This is the point where I got really confused. Apologies for paper, I'm going to have to change over. So Cyril gets annoyed. He sort of realises that there seems to be some new warrior in, and Taja, who killed the warriors, I mentioned, the fortune teller said if you kill the warriors you'll get stronger, but Taja doesn't seem to be stronger, so he storms off. I assume thinking like, I've made this mess, I'm going to deal with it, leaving Taja with Kung Lao. And then Cyril goes to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller's just like, what's your problem, da da da. And Cyril's like, you were wrong, da da da. She goes, I wasn't wrong, you were confused, da da da. And then we get Taja and Kung Lao, and Taja has like says like, I think he's know where he's going, and they've gone to Noob Saibot's den where they fought the warriors, not the fortune teller, which would make, in every way makes more sense, but the place where we can have the final fight. Because
Taja's reasoning is that he's gone, she thinks Sarah's just gone to go fight the guy, but it's questionable whether that guy has come from the fucking dungeon or not, or if he's just a random guy. Sarah did the smart thing of going to the fortune teller to find out if the guy came from the fucking dungeon. Because that's the first place you would go.
Just all logic abandoned Taja at that point. And then lo and behold, they are Noob Saibot, it is his lair, and Noob Saibot appears. And I don't know what happened to Taja, because I went back and watched, and she doesn't get knocked out or anything by Noob Saibot. She just sort of seems to be in the background as Noob Saibot and Kung Lao. And they engage in this fight, and Noob Saibot batters Kung Lao. Like, it starts and it's like fisty, and Kung Lao, it's much like when he fought the Emperor, in that one of Kung Lao's strengths is he can take a beating and then flip up. And then Noob Saibot does something that's one of my favourites. He creates a bar, like a crowbar, but like a mystic black slime version of a crowbar, and he just wails on Kung Lao. Like, he sort of holds his arm up, like his free arm, like he one hands wails with it, like uppercutting him down and stuff, and he holds his other arm up like maybe it's a ninja move, but it's not a ninja move. It's not like he's flicking his wrist. He is just battering a guy with a crowbar. This was a street fight.
And there's one bit in that which is similar to your complaint about the first fight, where Kung Lao gets sent flying forwards in a front flip. But then they film the landing crossing the line the opposite way. So he front flips one way and then lands the opposite way.
To explain crossing the line, to the listeners. By crossing the line, we mean he flips from left to right.
Yeah.
But then they filmed it so he's landing right to left.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's flipped and then flipped out, like turned 180 degrees.
Just spun around for no reason.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed this fight more, but at this point, I'm just enjoying watching a gimp fight with a pipe. That's like, I'm not enjoying it from any quality control perspective. Just in only in this show do we get a full-on gimp mask, a gimp costume, fighting a Chinese warrior, a Shaolin warrior. Like, it's just fucking ridiculous. Zero rushes in.
Yeah.
He grabs a torch and he throws it in the back of Noob Saibot.
Yes, but before that he throws a knife, I believe.
Right, he throws the knife.
I don't know why he throws the knife.
Okay.
He throws the knife and then throws the torch. Because the torch sets him on fire, but he stabs him somehow. Or he might set his knife on fire, I'm not sure.
Should mention how Zero got there. When Noob Saibot appeared before and was like, "Come on, I'm going to kill you, goodbye." Yeah. When he disappears, for some reason, he leaves a tiny solidified version of his oil, which Zero sees, and then Zero sees the same thing in the fortune teller's house, so he realises then the warrior came from the fortune teller, blah, blah, blah. So Zero rushes in, throws the knife, misses. I forgot about the knife. It did happen. It rings a bell when you mentioned it. It was so unimportant, I'd forgotten. Then he throws a torch. It hits the back of Noob Saibot, and Noob Saibot starts screaming like a and then
Zero's like, "Run!"
Yeah, he's still making this noise while they do this. You still get Noob Saibot scream, like going as they run. They open the door. They run out.
Yeah.
As they run out,
everything sets on fire.
Everything sets on fire. He bursts into flames and explodes.
Yeah.
And then we get Raiden sat at a table, and Raiden is sat like they're in the trading post, just presumably. Raiden is sat like one arm back, leg up, hand on a knee, just like, oh yeah, I don't really care. And he sat with them, and they're sort of saying like, oh yeah, this warrior, da da da. He's like, oh, that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was there? Have you got a quote here?
There's a bit. Like there's a quote. Like they're telling him what happens.
Yeah.
And then they explain. And he's like, that's pretty bad. It's like, what's it look like? And it's like, oh, I do this. Look like this. Like, oh, I know him. And like the way he says it, it's like the most casual. It's like, oh, I know that guy. Yeah, he's alright. Yeah, he's alright. Why you got a problem with that guy?
He does what he does.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they say, well, he's dead now, and he's like, is he? And he's like, yeah, we saw him burst into flames, da da da. And he's like, yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
And then obviously he's not going to be dead, so you get the little the rock place with the little rock eagle, and in front of the rock eagle, Noob Saibot T-1000 liquid form is flying about.
Yeah.
Roll end credits.
You also have there's a bit that's really unimportant, and it's that unimportant I can't remember exactly what happens, but there's a little bit where it goes back to the fortune teller, and they're basically like just sat moaning, oh, it didn't work.
Noob Saibot.
Before Noob Saibot. There's a bit
Zero and the fortune teller, right?
And it's not Zero and the fortune. They don't go back to him.
The fortune teller and her assistant, right?
Yeah, they're just chilling and looking sad because they're planning to work.
I remember. I can't remember when. I just remember like thinking like this is where I think it's made for males. Apart from everything else, like the weak females and the stuff, is the scantily clad assistant is giving the scantily clad fortune teller a massage, and she's like, "You're so good at this," and it's like, okay.
And like constantly just like sort of moments that are sort of meant to be sexual tension. Most of them don't pull it off very well, and they just come across as corny and dumb. Like there's a bit when Zero goes when he's complaining about before he goes to Noob Saibot, and there's like a line where it's just like, "Oh, imagine you joining us" or some shit like that. It's like,
right,
fucking dumb.
So the credits roll and we're out. So. You already suggested, you already said a little bit at the beginning. Now in more detail. Episode. What do you reckon? Etc. etc.
I agree that I don't know what it was meant to be. Whether they're setting up for Noob Saibot to come back again and that's like his origin, or whether it was more meant to be a character moment, because it sort of had like this moral overtone, which we didn't really go into. Whereas basically, like the short version of the story is Zero learns to ask for help. You should ask for help.
Oh fuck! We missed a little bit. That's important. When Sarah rushes in with the torch and stuff, they're like, "We thought you'd be here." He says, "No, I went back to get you guys to help me because why would I charge in on my own?
Because you've done that every other fucking time. I learnt my lesson."
Yeah. I can't believe we missed that. That was such a nice moment. Yes, this episode. What do you reckon?
It was fine. It went quite fast, as I say. I mean, you're right. Like it was the character moments that were more interesting than the fights this time around. It didn't, because it was sort of like, oh, we're going to be carried. Oh, we're going to be a origin story. It didn't actually feel like a full episode. Like it felt like it's half of an episode. Yeah, and it's meant to be building up to.
It felt like it's half of a double build, isn't it? Yeah.
So whether that's going to happen, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, I've not looked up. I deliberately am not looking up what we've got coming up. I found it longer than you did, I think. I did watch it all in one sitting. It's only 40 minutes, so it wasn't too tough to sit for one. There were times when I got really bored. The fights, like, the first fight was very followable, but it was 3 fucking minutes. And that's quite a long time in the grand scheme of the show. There were 3 fights, sort of majorly. There was the Warriors, Kung Lao and Noob Saibot, Zero and the Thieves. I felt like the fights got stronger as they went along, even though they became less followable over time, and by the Noob Saibot Kung Lao. I started off, I thought like, oh, we're going to get like a Zero story, or Zero's origins, or like Zero getting stronger. None of that happened. No. Then I thought we're going to get Tarja and Zero, but when I look back, maybe Zero's going to ask for help now, and that will become like a recurring theme. But apart from that, I don't feel like I learned anything new or felt any different towards them. And Tarja's gone from like the thief to the tomboy friend character. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like you get like those shows or programs or films where it's like it's a group of 3 or 4 and there's the one girl, but the girl isn't a girly girl. Yeah, she's basically a tomboy, and that's like that makes her fine. Yeah. Like they've written the part for a guy and then gone, we need a girl. Yeah. It's just a bit. I just don't find it that. I find her characters like it's just whatever they need her to be for the other 2. So she's the whiny little annoying sister for Zero when he's gonna be annoyed, but then she's like the ragtag thief who is traumatized and just shit on her own when they need her to steal something or put Kung Lao in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, she just doesn't have any consistent personality herself. Zero, I do actually quite like Zero. I miss his sword. He had a sword to begin with, and now that's gone. And I don't see why he shouldn't have a weapon. Yeah. And Kung Lao's Kung Lao. I enjoyed the raiding scenes a lot. I didn't care for the fortune teller. She looked great, and I thought her performance was good, but she meant nothing. No. Unless she needed those 2 scenes. Yeah. That she was in. Unless she comes back, or she's some character that I've forgotten about. She is going to come back. How do you know? Because when I was looking at the characters, there's like a double. She becomes a different character or some shit. Right. I'm not going to tell you about it. Fair enough. Fair enough. If I read it right, I might have read it wrong, but I'm pretty sure she comes back as a different character. Fair enough. I did enjoy that we found a way for Shung Sang not to fail for a week. Yeah. And it's not having him in it. Yeah, and it's not even the Emperor's failure either, because it's just she did her own stuff, and Noob Saibot was imprisoned by the Emperor. So I did enjoy okay, so there are other players in this, even if they're one shot. It's not the worst episode. No. That was probably the aging episode a few weeks ago, but it's not the best either. No. And I'm sort of still waiting. Like, I'm still loving the over-the-topness, and there's enough bad dialogue and stuff, but I'm sort of waiting for it to get to that point where I feel the kind of childish glee that I did when I was a kid. There is one thing that they have massively improved in this episode, I felt. The audio and the tracks, the music. They simmer out properly, they don't just randomly come in, and they actually match the action quite a bit. I sort of feel like when they edited it, like they had the deadline, and then they went, like, it got sent late to the sound designers, right? And like the sound guys were just like, right, we'll do like the first 5 episodes, just fucking get them out, they'll be ready for the show, and then we can work on the other ones. Yeah. So that's like, those are out. Yeah, we'll do a proper job on these. I'll agree, because from the technical point of view, the series is improving. Like I said, the beginning shot with the extras and stuff, it felt a much more impactful setting than I've seen before. The fights are becoming more followable overall. And the effects are there's still the effects, but
but they're effects from that time. They weren't necessarily bad effects in the first
classic
place.
90s effects. Yeah,
they're all technology.
Yeah.
But the sound's massively improved.
Yeah, it is. You're right. It didn't. You're right. Actually, I never noticed. At no point did I notice it was killing the mood or changing exactly. So yeah. So overall, some moves in the right direction. Some static standing still. Still looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, they're improving. So hopefully the next one will be amazing.
Yeah.
At least by the end, maybe it'll be amazing.
We'll see, won't we? Right. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Go watch the episode if you're not already. Why not?
Yeah, and it's findable. It's pretty findable.
Yeah, we will see you.
Well, we won't see you.
You'll hear us.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah,
we'll find out. We have a new team member now. At some point, she might come on.
Yeah.
Although part of me thinks maybe she avoided coming today to avoid having to do this shit.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe she watched the first episode. So I'm not watching fucking 4 more of these.
Yeah. I'll go back to the Anyway, that's it. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.